Nutty Ridge presents two new orchard crops for North America. These crops are hazelnuts and chestnuts. They are native, they have hybrid vigor, they're delicious and desired by many consumers. Nutty Ridge Farm Overview. We are bringing two new profitable and sustainable crops to the fallow lands all across the northern half of North America. We are following nature's lead. When we moved to upstate New York 24 years ago, we saw how the fields were returning to trees, and we decided those trees should provide a crop. That led us to hazelnut and chestnut trees that are native to the region and have been hybridized to provide new and well-known crops desired by consumers. Hybridization of native trees allows for hardiness, disease resistance, and quality nuts. This has resulted in total from over 94 years of effort with the assistance of northern nut growers that have been in existence for well over 100 years. Nutty Ridge Farm Why Nut Trees? Nut trees are a sustainable crop for a changing environment. Trees once established can handle extreme droughts and rain events while enhancing the soil and minimizing erosion. We all know trees purify air and sequester carbon. The USDA considers nuts to be heart healthy, and hazels and chestnuts are in continuous short supply. You can earn much more money per acre than grain. And let's not forget that nuts are just tasty. Nutty Ridge Farm Hazels. We are now cloning the best hazelnut trees for commercial and home plantings. We selected the hardiest, disease-resistant trees with production of large, quality, tasty nuts. We are now planting out hazel orchards using our own selections that we have developed here after 24 years of testing and hybridizing in Cortland, New York. You can start harvesting nuts in as little as 4 years, so you don't have to wait long, and with full production in years 6 or 7. At Nutty Ridge Farm, we are talking native hazel hybrids. In the green area here, you can see the native range of hazel bushes that go from northern Florida all the way through northern Canada. The native hazels that we are growing have been hybridized with the large, tasty filberts from Europe and Asia. In Europe, they tend to call them filberts and not hazels. But our native bushes are very hardy but produce very small, thick-shelled, untasty nuts. The hybridization has allowed the weaker, less disease-resistant European trees to give us the large, tasty nuts on our native hardy bushes. Here are scenes of hazels at Nutty Ridge. Here we have our greenhouse that is powered by this windmill and is heated mainly with wood. There's our wood stack right there. We collect rainwater and store it in a cistern underneath the greenhouse. Here's a picture of our breeding orchard. We have very long rows. We plant trees tightly packed together to look for characteristics that we need to crossbreed and or find the perfect tree that we can then propagate out. Next is a solar irrigation pump we designed and built for our newly planted orchards. We use irrigation for the first 2 or 3 years to ensure survivability of the trees as well as good growth. We can then move this pump to a new section. Here are seedlings that we grow in the greenhouse. We grow them by the thousands. Some of them are seedlings from controlled crosses. Some are seedlings from our best trees. We sell the seedlings from our best trees, and we plant out the trees that we have controlled crosses. Here is the transplanter that we use, where we can plant out hundreds and even thousands per day, really, of seedlings in our field. And here you see some jumbo hazelnuts growing in our field. We hope to bring these to all the fallow lands all across North America. At Nutty Ridge Farm, we've had a few trials and tribulations. We knew developing a new permanent crop wasn't going to be easy, and it has taken over 94 years of effort, with 24 of that being our own effort. You can see on the left there's dead trees or near dead, and there's healthy hazel trees on the right. The trees on the left started getting diseased at year 12, and by year 15 they were dead. You can see the bushes on the right, they're still healthy and they're growing great. So we bought trees from wherever we could get them for over 24 years. We bought trees that we believed would be blight resistant and cold hardy, or at least we're told so. So you can see there's a lot of effort and a lot of years go by before you know if you have a good healthy tree to use for breeding. Let's discuss now native chestnuts that have been hybridized. As you can see here in the area green, the Native American chestnut tree was from northern Florida all the way through to Maine. We are growing out the best hybridized chestnuts to withstand our winters and produce the highest quality tasty nuts. The new hybrids are now grown from northern Michigan all the way through to central Florida. A little more detail on our efforts with chestnuts. We're tissue culturing the best known hardy orchard chestnut trees developed in USA and Europe from European in conjunction with Korean, Chinese, Japanese, and Native American. We have an agreement with SUNY Environmental Science and Forestry to bring chestnut trees into tissue culture. SUNY ESF has gained its knowledge in chestnuts by bringing back the American chestnut tree. Its knowledge is world class and our neighbor in Syracuse. We believe we are the first nursery to tissue culture orchard type chestnut trees in North America. One interesting fact is the chestnut trees want to produce nuts in the first year, that is our tissue culture trees, and we recommend letting the tree grow for a few years to put down healthy, sturdy roots. Scenes of chestnuts at Z's Nutty Ridge. Here you see newly transferred tissue culture trees into jiffy pots. The ones that grow and thrive well, we transfer into larger pots. Here you see these trees that are only 6 months old. Those same trees, when you examine further, you can see that they actually have flowers growing on them. That's the nice thing about tissue culture trees. They will produce flowers and nuts the very first year you plant them out. When you're tissue culturing, you have to have a sterile environment, and here we are working underneath the HEPA filter that you can see here in the background to subculture our chestnut trees. What is subculturing? Well, subculturing is when you have a sterile environment and you're growing shoots of chestnut trees for 6 or 8 weeks that grow about, as you see here, 2 or 3 inches tall. We can take this tree, transfer it into the jiffy pot and grow it out, or we can take it and do what is known as subculturing, where you take sections of it and stick it back in the media for further growth and repeat the cycle. At Z's Nutty Ridge Farm, our current efforts in summary are planning out our own commercial orchards of selective hybrid native hazels we developed on site. And these will be clones that we know have quality nuts, cold hardiness, wind-tolerant male and female flowers with disease resistance. Cloning the best trees is the method used for centuries. In this way, you can have thousands or millions of trees with a known quality. For example, when you buy a Red Delicious apple from different stores, you consistently get a Red Delicious apple. The same will be true for our hazelnut and chestnut trees. We will have a limited number of trees available for the next couple of years while we plan out our own orchards. At Z's Nutty Ridge Farm, we'd like you to consider planting nut trees. And an interesting fact is, back in 1960, there was 1 acre of arable land per person. And by 2020, it is expected that there will only be 0.44 acres per person. There are many hundreds of thousands of acres in the Northeast alone that have gone fallow and are ideally suited for hazelnuts and chestnut trees. And if you're a homeowner, if you're going to plant a tree in your yard, it might as well produce a tasty crop that lasts many, many years and not just leaves. At Z's Nutty Ridge, please like, find, and follow us. We're located in the town of McGraw in Cortland County, New York. Our webpage has lots of useful information and other links for chestnuts and hazelnuts. It's a simple address, just znutty.com. Our Facebook is a little longer, but it's zsnutty.ridge. Here's a view from our farm. We overlook the hills of Cortland County. Our farm is located in a USDA Zone 4B 5A at a very windy 1,800 feet of elevation. We appreciate the time you spent with us, and we thank you very much.